Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hope you all are well. So I want to make the video of Ramadan. Ramadan is near, so I'm thinking to make the Ramadan video. So our topic is about preparing of Ramadan. I will start my topic with the Quran ayat. Preparing of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala zina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. The translation. Oh, you who believe fasting has been prescribed for you like it was prescribed for those before who, so that you may attain taqwa. The goal of fasting is to attain piety. The pious person is who suffered himself for those things that harm his akhirah. Then, if that thing is related to shirk and he saves himself from that, then it is a low level of taqwa. If he saves himself from sinning and rebelliousness, then his is a middle level of taqwa, and highest level of taqwa is saving oneself for futile, nonsensical things, turning to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person has two obstacles in attaining taqwa. First, soul, nerves. Second, shaitan. Nerves is a name for a person desires. Those can be good and bad, permissible and impermissible. When a person follows his desires, then he forgets the actual goal of his life and comes off the path of attaining taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the month of Ramadan and has chained up the shaitan. So now the only enemy that remains is a person's own nerves, that he has to complete with a bring under control in this blessed month. Food and drink intake is lowered so that the nerves become weakened and that its adherence to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes easier. The companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have mentioned that when the month of Ramadan started, they saw three changes in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. First, he would increase his acts of worship. Second, he would increase spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third, he would increase the time spent in making du'as. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that fasting is a shield until a person tears it apart. It was asked what was the mean by tearing apart. He said, throat, backbiting and lying. It is also mentioned that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, how many are those who gain nothing from their fast apart from hunger and thirst? For this reason, we would prepare and make intention before Ramadan of what we are going to be doing, those things that will enable us to benefit during Ramadan and enable us to increase our taqwa. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would see the moon of Rajab, he would make the following dua: Allahumma barik lana fi Rajabin وشعبان وبلغنا شهر رمضان. Oh Allah, bless us in Rajab and Shaban and make us reach the month of Ramadan. We should also implement this sunnah as well and prepare for Ramadan. There is a saying, well planned, half done. In other words, if it is planned well, then it is as if it is a half achieved already. Keep in mind the four foundational tasks that we need to do in Ramadan. First, etiquettes of Ramadan. Second, keeping the fast of Ramadan. Third, avoid all sins. Fourth, increase in all acts of worship. The hadith mentioned there are four things we should increase during this month. Two of those are from the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to those we cannot do without. The hadith mentions that are four things we should increase during this month. Two of those are from the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and two of those we cannot do without. The first two are kalima tayyiba. Second, excessive istighfar. The remaining two are: first, seeking entry to Jannah. Second, seeking refuge from Jahannam. The dua for this: La ilaha illallah astaghfirullah as'alukal jannata wa a'udhu bika min nar. Jazakumullahu khair. Remember in your dua.